10mm flat wrench on the bleeder valve, 17mm on the 2 caliper bolts on the backside.
A large spring clamp.
And the lugs are a 3/4 inch. Okay, so we got the tire pulled. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the caliper by taking off this bolt and this bolt. Okay, the nut size is a 17mm. Okay, different size than on the back. Okay, and while we're right here, just gonna crack the bleeders a little bit. There we go. There we go. Now it's closed, but it's a lot more convenient to work on. Okay, now, when I pull off the caliper, these brake pads have springs on them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sneak in with my little clamp here and try and clamp them so that I can show you how the springs are set up. Okay, now, you don't want any weight dangling on that tube, so check that out. An S-hook off of a bungee cord works really, really well here. Just gotta hook it on one side. Oops. Hook it on one side and then hook it right up here on the coil spring. And you haven't got to worry about it. Okay. Now here's the real tricky thing. Notice that there's a spring on the top that makes a W and a spring on the bottom. Okay? They point in different directions. Okay? See how part of that spring right there kind of goes underneath the glider or the guides? Okay. Keep an eye on that because we're going to put new springs in with the new pads, and when we do, we want to put them in exact. So here's a little trick I'm going to follow. I'm going to line up the springs exactly the way they should be on the top and the bottom, and put them over here on the bucket, so I don't even have to think about it. All I've got to do is just take them out and put them in place. Yep, exactly like that. Good. Okay, and away we go. Okay, these guides come right out with a hammer. Okay, and I'm going to follow the same advice. I'm going to get my second guide lined up. Yeah, it's a good thing I did. That would be backwards. Just like that. So I'm going to pop this one off with the adjuster. And pop the other one right on there. Same thing on the bottom here. I'm going to line this one up. So they've got a little springiness to them. Take advantage of that springiness to help you out. So what I did was I put the back end first and then kind of pivoted it up around like that. So back end goes in first, compress, squish it together a little, and then pivot it right back up in there. Cool. That'll work. Okay, there you go. So we've got both of the slides in. I'm going to put a healthy amount of grease on here so these things slide back and forth freely. I don't want so much grease on here that it interferes with the brakes, but I do want enough in here so that I don't have to worry about my brakes sticking. Guess today's pro tip, Do this before you put the slides on, huh? There we go. My fingers just don't bend that way. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and line one of these brake pads up. Okay, and I'm going to put the clip in, and then catch that hole in the brake pad, and drop it all in there and squish it in together.
I'm going to use the needle nose pliers here to push downward on the spring. That's going to dress up the spring and align it. The spring works much better this way.
That was interesting. Okay, just like that. I'm going to try and dress up this spring here a little. There we go. That'll make it happier.
Okay, next step is we're going to compress the caliper cylinder. I'm going to open the bleed screw here with a 10mm flat wrench, only about a half a turn. Connect a tube over the bleeder screw into any container you can find in the recycling bin. Put in the cylinder compression tool. Okay, and all the time balance this with my left hand. Good luck. Okay, there are 2 cylinders on this one. We're going to compress them both and turn them all the way down until you can't turn it anymore.
Okay, let's see. So we're going to pull the clamp. Let this guy fall right into place. Okay, that's done. Okay, the reservoir is located right under the hood. The cap reminds you that you only want to use DOT3 brake fluid. DOT3 brake. There's a little note on the side here that says the mini-max level. So I'm going to top it off until I'm close to that max. I know it took a pretty good amount out when I was bleeding the brake, so I want to make sure I put it back in. Okay. Job is done.
Ford wanted $100 for the brake pads and $90 labor to put them on. I went to Advanced Auto and I got the best brake pad option they had for $60 with discounts.